saying to you good afternoon, and looking forward to see the big extravaganza rugby league action pack here at Davies Park in approximately 10 minutes between the touring British and New Zealand Maoris. Well, good afternoon, folks. It is all happening here. I'm John Ripi for ATV Video here at Davies Park for this action-packed rugby league extravaganza between the touring Great Britain and the New Zealand Maoris. Out on the field today, well, there they are for your eyes to see. The Maoris looking in striking form, and also with the Great Britain with that loss at Carlo Park yesterday by 12 points to 0. They're here to make amends, make no bones about that. They're here to win this game today, to restore some of their pride back into the British Rugby League. As you know, on the last two years, they've been immediately beaten in Great Britain by the series 3-0, and in Australia 3-0 just this year, and now also looking defeat in the eyes of the Kiwis, also losing that first test between New Zealand at Carlo Park yesterday by 12 points to 0. But make no bones about it, they're here today to accomplish their mission, and that's to win this game today. And win well, this is what they need to restore some of their pride back into the rugby league in Great Britain. Well, the teams today for Great Britain, we have fullback, we have Mike Burke for Great Britain. We have on the right wings, we have John Bassett, and we have we have the centres, John Bassett, Joe Lydon, John Joyer, and the left wing we have Des Foyer. We have standoff Mike Smith. We have Des Drummond is out on the left wing, replacing Des Joy. We have standoff Mike Smith. We have their scrum half Andy Gregory. We have the props. We have Brian Case, hooker Kevin Bredmore, and the other prop is Terry Flanagan. We have second rows. We have David Hobbs and Mike O'Neill, and their loose forward Mike Adams. Now we go into the New Zealand Maoris. We have Nick Wright. There's the Greek, they call him in New Zealand, Nick Wright the Greek. We have out in the centres Joe Ropati and Dick Oliver. And we have Cedric Lovick out in the centres. We have Lou Cooper left wing. Out on the scrum half, we have Ron O'Regan, number 6, and we have scrum half, Gary Cartner, and we have prop Pat Poaza, number 9, hooker Tracy McGregor. Then we have 10, prop Anthony Murray. Then we have 11, second row, Russell Tuata, and number 12, Robbie Moore, who replaced the injured Dean Bale, and 13, loose forward Chippy Pine. And our reserve is 14, Tom Waitai, and 15, Trevor Clark. And the referee for today's game is Ken Blasser from Christchurch. And well, beautiful weather for action-packed rugby league here today at Davies Park. Like we have been stating, it's been raining here since Friday, Saturday, and part of it to this morning, and the grounds is in excellent order. We just finished the curtain raises here, and the park has never been chopped up, and there it is. And this is what Great Britain wants today. This is the kind of condition they like. They want to get out here and show their talent on a ground like this instead of what they showed at Carlo Park. Well, the kickoff will be taken by the New Zealand Maoris by Nick Wright. And there it is, the kickoff's taken deep into the Great Britain's half. They'll pick up by their fullback, Mike Burke. He'll play the ball inside his own half. There's a good run there by their loose forward, Mick Adams. And the referee says you're offside, New Zealand Maoris, you're inside the 5 yards. So the Great Britain has got a penalty there right on the 25. Well, the penalty is taken by their centre, Joe Lydon, and has brought the play just inside the New Zealand Maoris. The tap was taken by their hooker, Kevin Bremore, and he's taken on the tackle right on just inside the New Zealand Maoris. He'll get up to play it now. Now they're moving the ball out into the centres. That was a good run there by the loose forward who was out in the centres, Mike O'Neill. He got up to play the ball, but he's lost it in the tackle to the New Zealand Maoris. And the New Zealand Maoris Out to Ron O'Regan, out to Pat Parser. Pat Parser tries to have a run on his own, but he's gained about 2 or 3 yards there. He's taken the play inside the Great Britain's half. They'll play the ball back now. Now they're moving the ball back out to Regan and out to Joe Ropati. Joe Ropati has a run, and there it is. He busts through one or two tackles there, Joe Ropati. He's looking for a place back into the Kiwi side. You can bet your boots on that, and there's a good running there by the New Zealand Mariners. They're taking the play back into Great Britain's own half now. Now they're moving the ball back out to Ron Regan. Ron Regan put the ball up and under, deep inside to the New Zealand, into the Great Britain, but there's a late tackle on the New Zealand Mariners by Great Britain. Great Britain did recover the ball, but some of the tactics, the elbow tactics, are starting to come in from Great Britain, which they tried in Australia, and now they're trying to implement it here at Davies Park, and that was a desperation tackle on the Great Britain, one might say, to try to cancel out this Ron O'Regan, but there it is. Nick the Greek once again is got the penalty for New Zealand Mariners. He'll have a kick some 25 yards, just inside the 25 yards, actually just to the upright, to the left of the upright. Well, New Zealand Mariners are starting off pretty strong here. Well, Nick is about to take the penalty here. And it's there, so the New Zealand Mariners lead the Great Britain by 2 points to 0 by a penalty from Great Britain for that elbow tackle on Ron O'Regan. Good run there by Joe Ropati too, that set that attack and move up there. So there it is, New Zealand Mariners lead by 2 points to 0 over Great Britain, and the conditions here are excellent, in excellent order. There should be no excuse from both sides here today. The footing is in their favour, so they should be able to play open, wide rugby league here today. Well, this kick's been taken by Joe Lydon and is given out to the New Zealand Maoris.
Driven to the ground then by Mike O'Neill, the second round, along with Lee Cook. Quickly they play the ball, out it comes now. It's he can't move just outside the Maori 22, and he's held it, and he'll play the ball. McGregor acting as dummy half for the Maoris, and in goes Beardmore this time, but he can't move again. They're making only slow progress, the Maoris. They spin it out now. It's gone quickly out to the second row, which is Tuatara. He's held in a tackle. They're getting toward the halfway line, the Maoris, but they're about 12 metres short. They fire it back now to Nick Rice. He kicks toward the open side this time, waiting, and Joe Rapati's way up there, and the Betsy a mile or so. There's Drummond taking the ball now, accelerates. It's caught straight away by Ron O'Regan on about the halfway line. We're just inside Great Britain's territory. And O'Regan all over the top of him, I think, and as was Cedric Lovett, both these two players being penalised. Drummond couldn't get up to play the ball, so Joe Lydon quickly on his own 10-metre mark kicks on the far side. He's got the breeze with him, I think. Bill, is it? Do you know Huntley very well?
Yes, well, it's a southerly, southwesterly, so he would have the good advantage of the breeze.
We're just running the commentary through the radio so that you can have a fair idea and indication of the progress of this game, because the game is really action-packed here now.
Take the ball off the top then, which is Kevin Beardmore, a good hooker from the game at Whangarei. We'll see how good he is today. Crooks didn't go too far. It was Andy Gregory this time. Turns it back to his second row, O'Neill, and Mike O'Neill is caught low, then a good low tackle by New Zealand's Robbie Muller. About 15 out from the try line. As Terry Flanagan straightens up this time, and he's just about getting through the loose forward for Great Britain, held and no more 3 metres short of the line. They're in trouble now. That's New Zealand Mariners. As Beardmore gets it away to Andy Gregory, just outside the uprights. The little halfback's quick and strong, but he fires it back, and it's intercepted by a New Zealand Mariners throw. Play on, says the referee, Mr. Blackler, and the Great Britain side looked to see if he's offside, but it wasn't. It was the loose forward then, and that was Chappie Pine that intercepted and eased pressure. Now it's back to the centre three-quarter, which is Cedric Lovett. He can't move. The Mariners on their own 22, but they have the ball as Trace McGregor takes it up to Ron O'Regan. Out it goes to McGregor again, onto Anthony Murray in the wide movement then. Murray standing a little bit wide for the prop forward, but he's held just outside Mariners 22. They play the ball. as it quickly comes back to McGregor. McGregor sends it on to Regan, who kicks the touch, testing Mumby this time, who has to put his hands in the air to stop the ball bouncing over the sideline, deflects it back, and Mumby, a fairly slow fullback, has a bit of a run, and he certainly hasn't got pace, Mumby. I was surprised to see him playing in the centres yesterday in the test. He's caught on about the Great Britain 10-metre marker. Quickly it's out now to Des Drummond, who's linked up amongst the forward play there after getting the ball off the loose forward Terry Flanagan. He's held in a tackle. Beardmore getting away to his halfback Gregory, who runs straight ahead, testing this time. The Mariners slips the pass away to Beardmore again, and nice play. He fires it out to the prop forward Lee Crooks. They move better. Great Britain, they like it on top of the ground, all right. They're better playing today as they're caught just outside the 22 on Maori territory. It's wide out from Gregory. On it goes to John Joyner, to Des Foy, and Drummond can't hold the pass. Back over goes Lydon, spins it away from the far side to the prop forward. That's Keith Rain. Rain has a bit of a go, kicks over Nick's right head. The race is on, but flying across is the Winthree-quarter early Ivan. He kicks it over the dead ball line. Mariners, and there's somebody out cold, Bill. And
yes,
that is
well,
Three-quarter Joe Lydon. What happened there?
After he passed the ball, Nick did what Lee Crooks did earlier on the match and felled Lydon from behind. So Nicky can consider himself lucky because he had a whack at somebody before and went too high, but this time he connected. It's rather unfortunate because neither the line umpire nor the referee saw the incident.
So Lydon is face down. He's virtually out, I would say, because his face is lying into the ground, which indicates to me that he's pretty sick. And the dropout by Nick Wright has been taken by the fullback, Keith Mumby. He runs to the Maori 22 before he's held in a tackle. He's now out to Beardmore. Beardmore getting away this time to his prop forward, which is Rain, and Beardmore comes around to take the pass again, but it's held. Mike O'Neill going into dummy half now, gets it away to Gregory. They're working very well indeed. Gregory wide this time, turns it back to Proctor. Proctor can't hold the ball. The Maoris pick it up instead, and it's the centre three-quarter Lovett who will play the ball about 15 metres out from the Maori line. Particularly Harvey this time, he puts his head down, runs into the tackler, which is Mike O'Neill, and the Maoris being penned inside their 22. They lead 2-0 with that early penalty after Regan got felled with a late charge tackle. And now on the far side, Lydon is starting to sit up the centre three-quarter. He's not too sure where he is. And they play at the Maoris now up to Ron Regan, a wide pass further out to Lovett. Lovett sends on that far side into the winger, Lou Cooper, who can't hold the ball. And he's knocked it on, so the referee said we'll have a scrum just inside the Maori 22. And the ground very, very good, Bill. It's a great drying ground.
Dries out very well. The rain stopped in Huntly at about 9:30 this morning, and that's all that's required to give this a good surface. It's got a coal base underneath, black, and a foot of soil on top, and that's the pattern for it. If you get that rain stopping, and we've had about 3 days of rain, you get pretty good footing as we're showing here today.
Well, Joe Lydon is certainly staggering on his feet, and wisely John Joyner has told him to go out into the wing and let Des Drummond move away and come into the centre three-quarters. That's a sensible move there because Dryden's going to take time. He's staggering still on his feet as he just walks over to the right of the scrum. On the Maori 22 at the moment, and they put the ball in the loose head, and it's for Great Britain. They take it out. John Joyner having a go to go through the defence, then close in, but he couldn't get past a very fast-moving tackler then of the Maori side, and that would be Chappie Pine. They spin it wide now. It comes out to the prop forward, which is Lee Crooks. Crooks trying to get clear of the cover defence, but it's held by Regan, and they'll get up to play the ball now. It's back to the halfback, and that's Andy Gregory. Out it goes to Wayne Proctor. He can't hold it. The Maoris dive on the loose ball, and they'll get up to play it just inside their 22. They're content really to just cover the Great Britain side at the moment. Not too much enterprise by the Maori side as the clock ticks away toward about 10 minutes gone. They lead 2-0 with Anthony Murray having a bit of a charge now into the Great Britain pack, but he's held just outside the 22. Tracy McGregor waiting to take it out. Another English player is hurt, and they won't be liking this game too much now as the Maoris have hit two of their players hard indeed, and it looks like Wayne Proctor is the man that's getting a bit of the water poured on the back of his neck. As the Maoris take past the ball past the own 22, and they've lost control of it. Then goes Tracy McGregor to dive on, a knock-on, says the referee, and we'll have a scrum. The man that lost control of that ball would be the loose forward Chappie Pine, and I don't know what happened then to Proctor, Bill.
Well, once again, Wayne Proctor was tackled by the standoff Rhino Regan, who thought he was going to pick the ball up, but he got away with it. I'll leave you to it.
Well, there's a fast break from the side of the scrum this time, and it's Des Foy linking quickly up there with his range three-quarter Bastet. Bastet's almost clear, but he's held just to no more by the halfback, which the Maori halfback then, and that was Stuart Cartini. Quickly they spin it wide, Great Britain. It comes out to John Joyner. He turns it onto the hook on that Beardmore. Back it goes now to Lee Crooks. Crooks sends out to Andy Gregory. They must score Great Britain if they're good enough. It's wide out to Des Drummond, who veers back in field, going right into the cover defence. The coloured player is almost there, but held up just to no more. A very fine tackle by his opposite number, Lou Cooper, who followed the winger all the way. They play the ball Beardmore. They're only 2 metres short of the line. Out it goes now to John Joyner, the standard. Reverses it back this time to the prop forward Rain, who didn't want any part of the ball and let it go. And the Maoris quickly pick it up and charge up to their 22. And it's Tracy McGregor, the man that took it. And Lee, I should say, Rain, I should say, did not want to get near that ball then when the Maoris charged at him. He just said goodbye, let him pick it up and run. And that's what's happened is now Murray clears the 22, and the Maoris look a little bit stronger now, and he's held by a couple of Great Britain forwards that are about 10 metres outside their own 22. Quickly he gets up to play the ball. They spin it wide this time. Out to Cartini. On it goes to O'Regan, who turns it back this time into Rapati, who came back into cover really. Then he did a bit of a switch play. That's O'Regan, but not too successful. Running into the cover and picked up then by the second row Wayne Proctor, who seems to be okay now. Quickly Tracy McGregor up to O'Regan, who's dictating the trend of play. Nicely comes out now to the wing three-quarter, which is Uliavi. Uliavi is caught by his opposite number, John Bassner. Down in front of the grandstand here on the halfway line. As it's back now to Chappie Pine. Wide out from Ron O'Regan. A long floating pass in up to Russell Tuatai, who's way out on the centres, but they've lost ground, the Maoris, and he's back on the halfway line. Tuatai to play the ball. Quickly they spin it back to Nick Wright, who's going for a deep kick, I think, to try and test Keith Mumby. The ball racing back toward the corner on the far side. Des Drummond picks the ball up now. A couple of Maoris to contend with. The first one's Lou Cooper, who takes him to the ground, and he throws it off the ground. I thought there'd be a penalty conceded, but he gets the ball out to Mumby. Maybe he didn't ground that ball, Bill, but I almost thought it was, but he didn't ground it, so it's Mumby to play the ball now. They spin it back nicely. It comes back to, let's have a look at that man being picked up in the air, and it looks like to me is that Lee Cook's getting dumped on the ground. No, it's Wayne Proctor getting up to play the ball now to Beardmore. Out it goes to Gregory. Gregory turns it nicely on this time to John Joyner. Joyner's taken low, and they can't quite move then. The loose forward is Chappie Pine, who covered well. In goes Gregory back to act quickly now back to the centre three-quarter, which is Joe Lydon. He seems to be much better now and has moved away from the wing back to centre, and he's kicked deep, and Nick Wright lets the ball run over the dead ball line. Has it reached it at the moment? I think it has. The referee says yes. A tap on the 22 to the New Zealand Maoris, who lead by 2-0. A fair start, Bill. Not a great start.
That's right. One good thing about the game so far, Great Britain is showing much more enterprise than moving the ball around. I felt when they were attacking strongly about a minute or two ago that if Des Drummond had stayed on that far side, a try could have resulted, but nevertheless he came in and the chance was lost.
So the tap's been taken, and Anthony Murray doing the spade work up front to drag in the Great Britain players, but he's lost control of the ball. We'll have a scrum 3 metres outside the Maoris 22, and there's a breeze favouring Great Britain. They've utilised it a couple of times there. They're kicking very, very deep, a lot more than we saw yesterday when they didn't seem to want to kick too much. Today they're prepared to bang away at the ball and they keep play inside Maori half, which they should because the breeze is quite reasonable at Davies Park here. But the Maoris still lead by that one penalty of Nick Wright, 2-0, and let's have a look. Underneath your hooker's feet says the referee to the Great Britain halfback Andy Gregory. A penalty of the Maoris, and Nick Wright from centre field this time will kick the touch on the far side. He won't gain too much distance. I think he'll be happy to make sure that the ball gets out over the sideline on the full and they can resume play on the tap. Not a bad effort by Wright. He's up to the halfway line. That's the flag is up in the air now, and the referee today, Mr. Blackler, Ken Blackler. The referee, he's from where, Bill?
Christchurch.
Christchurch. So it's up to be taken now. Out it comes to Tracy McGregor, turns it back to Poweza. Poweza just goes into the forward defensive tackle then of Beardmore, and they go to the ground. As McGregor takes it away from Dummy Huck, one runs wide a little bit, turns it back to Anthony Murray. They're slow, the Maoris, and he's quite easily held up on a tackle then, and they play the ball. McGregor waiting to take it out, spins it out this time. It comes nicely out to Ron O'Regan. O'Regan cuts out a man, further out to Joe Rapati. Party seems O'Regan around him. On it goes to Uliavi. He tries to get outside Bassner, slips to the ground, turns around, gets to his feet. Andy Gregory, who picks him up on the halfway line on the grandstand side. And they play the ball to O'Regan this time, the Maoris. Turning it, runs wide a little bit now to cut out a man. Finds Russell Tuatai standing a bit wide, the second row. Seems to like that play. He's lost control of the ball. Chappie Pine picks it up, has a bit of a run. In goes Andy Gregory to take him to the ground. He runs up to about the 10 metres. And there's a short punch from Andy Gregory. Walks away this time into Chappie Pine, who smiles. Conceded a penalty. Everyone on the grandstand could have seen that one, Bill.
That's right, yes. Very lively player, Andy Gregory, and I think one of the better players up at Whangarei on last Tuesday when Northern Districts played the Great Britain side, and you'll find that a lot of play will be built around him, and he's quite an elusive player.
Right, kicks the touch. He's too close in really to gain much ground, so he's only moved the flag up about 10 metres from the time he attempted the touch finder. So they're inside Great Britain's half, heading towards the 22. We've only seen them once in that position when they got a penalty and landed a kick. The tap to be taken now by Uliavi. Really waited at the moment is Tracy McGregor waiting to take it from him with Pat Poweza, the man that's going to look like is he going to have it. And let's have a look. They spin it wide instead of George Catini, who tries to go through, but Mike O'Neill picks him up. And the referee has a look to see what's going on. In goes Poweza with a left and a right, and shaping up to him is Lee Crooks, a tough man, and the fists are clenched here between Poweza and Lee Crooks. The line umpire is on the field. I think, Bill, you and I were looking at the play, or did you see what happened on this side? We're a bit partially view obliterated by this window here.
That's right. I think it was a response to that earlier one where Lee Crooks went up to Poweza and sort of as he passed the ball, he made contact with him. They glared at each other, and I think they threw about 2 each and just decided that would do. I don't know what the line umpire reports, but that's how I saw it.
Right, and it's a scrum. No penalty either side. A scrum now about 5 or 6 metres outside Great Britain's 22. Gregory to put the ball in, so they have the loose head. Lee Cooper on this side of the ground, that's the grandstand side. Gregory takes it out, but the referee's not happy with the way the ball went into the scrum. Good little halfback, Gregory, an excellent hooker, and Kevin Beardmore, very, very lively hooker. And Gregory goes back this time. It's taken by Catini when he puts the ball in, loses the ground, and quickly picked up by Luke Cooper. Cooper has a run down the side, and the loose forward Flanagan takes him, and they're now inside the 22. The Mariners can spin it away from the grandstand side. Cartini waiting to take it out now. Gets it away to Tracy McGregor. Regan calls for it quickly. He cuts out a man, sends it on to Rapati, who comes back into, tries for the bump. This time flattens one player, and that was Wayne Proctor on the ground, but he's picked up instead by Keith Rain. The big forwards have to come in to take Joe Rapati. They play at the Mariners. Tracy McGregor turns it on the right side to Regan, and they're all up inside the 5 metres. The Great Britain side, and an easy shot for Nick Wright right out in front of the goalpost, and Regan, the captain, fainted a little bit then, as I should say, using a quick one when he's going to go for the tap, but he decided not. And Great Britain just hugged that 5 metres, Bill.
Yes, that's right. They were correctly penalised there. I thought they were harshly treated from the scrum when Andy Gregory was picking the ball up. The rule says that nobody breaks or moves forward from the back of the scrum until the ball has cleared the scrum. Great Britain hooked him. The next minute, as Andy Gregory picked it up, he was dived on by the Maori, and in my book, the penalty should have gone Great Britain's way. Gregory lost the ball, and that put the Maoris on attack. But nevertheless, it's as the referee saw it, and we disagree on that one. But no question about them being within the 5 metres in the resulting play.
And Pat Perez getting his mouth wiped. I don't know whether he was on the receiving end then from that bit of a scuffle he had with Lee Crooks, who's known for his pretty solid punching at times.
That's right. Fairly vigorous player, Lee Crooks. Last 2 years ago in England, he played for Great Britain, was ordered off in a match with Australia. He's of a very fiery nature, so not surprising that he got involved there.
Right in front, Nick Wright. He could throw it over, punches hard and misses it. Believe it or not, he missed it and it hit the upright, the inside one, and shot away to the right, and he really punched that one. And I've actually written down a score here of 4-0, so it's only 2-0. Absolute citadel.
That's right. Pat Poeza needed treatment, and I noticed that Ronnie Barnett, the physio for Great Britain, just was dealing with Lee Crook, so one each.
So there's the dropout, deep one. Lou Cooper takes it this time, and has a bit of a, Dick Uliaga, I should say, has a run. Runs into Kevin Beardmore, the hooker for Great Britain, just ambling a little bit to Uliaga. Doesn't pick up his speed quickly, as he should do, as Tracy McGregor will take the ball out now, just inside the Maori half by about 12 metres to Ron O'Regan. O'Regan is caught by 3 white jerseys. The forwards quickly get on. The Maori captain, who's playing the ball to Tracy McGregor. It gets out to Murray. Murray this time has to put his shoulder into a couple of Great Britain forwards who are moving up a lot quicker, although I think the Maoris are a little bit slower in their fast play here. They're trying to be slow in getting up to attack. There's a deep kick from Nick Wright. There's Drummond on the far side. He takes the ball well. Joe Rapati comes in, doesn't control him, but in the end, however, he's taken to the ground by Cedric Lovett, just inside the halfway line. Great Britain turf. It's come back now to Lee Crooks. Crooks is held by a couple of players on the far side. Not Russell Tuatau, it'll be the second row then, which is Robbie Muller that moves across there, and he's been caught offside, and so a free kick has been awarded to Great Britain just inside their half on the far side of the field, so they can use the strong wind to advantage. And Mumby has taken over now the role of line kicker. Joe Lydon was early in the piece, got knocked out, has recovered quite okay, and there's his kick. Mumby, not a good kick by him either. He's only gained about 12, 13 odd metres upfield, and that's about what they are inside the Maori half. The tap to be taken by Beardmore. It's quite a strong win. They're looking at Lydon all the time. There,
John Joyner called on Ronnie Barnett, the physio, to have a look at Lydon. He's taking him over towards the sideline, so it looks like there may be a replacement here.
Yes, I gather Lydon is not. That's why he's lost. Well, he was taken off from the kicks. The tap to be taken out quickly. It's out to the prop forward, which is Keith Rain. Runs into the Maoris, has lost control of the ball. It's picked up instead, however, by Chappie Pine. He has a bit of a run. It's a Jerry Catini that takes it the little half. That gets up just outside the 22. That's Maori territory. We'll play it now to Tuatau. Gets away to Pereza. Pereza takes on this time. The first man is Wayne Proctor. Down on the deck goes the New Zealand Maori prop forward. About a run of 5-7 metres. Pereza to play the ball now. It's back to Tracy McGregor. On it goes to O'Regan, who opens the pass out wide this time to Lovett. Turns it nicely on that far side to Nick Wright. Wright sends it onto the winger then, which is Lou Cooper. Cooper is, I should say, Uliavi. Uliavi is caught on that far side. They play the ball back to Nick Wright. Wright getting it away to O'Regan. Turns it nicely on this time to Tuatau. He's picked up in the other second row. by Kevin Beardmore and held just inside the Great Britain half a couple of metres. O'Regan now quickly getting declared from the play the ball onto Murray. Murray turning in the tackle to unload, no support. Murray goes to the ground. He's played with McGregor. They're speeding up their play a little bit now with Nick Wright in close. Goes for the touch finder to kick deep and test Mumby, and he'll just about beat everyone. Now the ball bounces kindly for Drummond. Stops dead, and he's got to contend on that far side with the wing three-quarter Luke Cooper, but he goes to the ground. Drummond. He beat Cooper, but he's picked up in the end, however, by the cover defence, and that would be Cedric Lovett, I think, who moved out. Tracy McGregor was the man that stopped in Des Drummond. He's tapped it ahead and held by Pat Poeza. They play the ball now. It's back quickly to Andy Gregory. Gregory getting away to the second row, which is Mike O'Neill. O'Neill is held up in a tackle by Chappie Pine. And Great Britain slow to get going themselves a little bit at the moment. They turn around nicely to Terry Flanagan. The ball's on the ground. O'Regan picks it up for the Mariners. Quickly he fires it way out of Chappie Pine. Puts his head down. Tries to beat the defence in, but it's held. And they play the ball. Cedric Lovett waiting to take it out now, turns it onto O'Regan, works the grandstand side. He calls his wing three-quarter Uliavi to come inside him, but Uliavi is a move is well read by Great Britain side, and in goes the tackler Wayne Proctor to unload to take Uliavi to the ground. They play the ball. Murray taking his first pass man now, running hard toward the 22, gets to the Great Britain line then, and he's held and stopped in a tackle. They can go either side with McGregor calling a tune now. It gets out nicely to Robbie Muller. Muller running hard, gets inside Great Britain 22, one of the rare occasions of ours who lead 2-0. Now O'Regan goes for the bomb kick high. It's well badly flighted. Goes high in the air, his kick, and comes back to almost slightly behind the play the ball area, but Nick Wright doesn't make a good job of it. The Great Britain side picks up the bouncing ball, and it's Kevin Beardmore, the hooker, who played for Great Britain. Not a good effort then by Nick Wright, who tried to pick it up and move at the same time as his second row, Mike O'Neill. Kicks it ahead, which is Beardmore speculating ahead, and the referee says come back for the knock-on, and said he plays the advantage. Go, he said, for the Mariners, and Lou Cooper runs down that far side. Over the sideline goes the winger for the New Zealand Mariners, about 12 metres inside the Great Britain half.
Rather unusual in that high up and under of Ron O'Regan. There wasn't one player, either Maori or Great Britain, that was prepared to leave for it. And I note that the replacement for Joe Lydon is Ellery Hanley.
Hanley's come on. Is he gone out to the wing or?
Yes. Well, I'm not sure. Is he centre or wing?
No, he's gone in close. Bill, he's in the centre.
Inside centre.
So that wind is strong. You may hear it at the moment, and the line-up-house flag is really fluttering, and it's all favouring Great Britain, who are down. They want to lead at half-time here because the Mariners could really kick and keep play inside Great Britain's territory if they utilise the amount of ball they've been getting. As Gregory is the man with the moment with the ball, and he's got it. Has played it back to his loose forward Terry Flanagan, who has a bit of a run but is caught by Poeza and also Russell Tuart. They're still short of the halfway line by about 12 metres as Gregory calls it. Now dictates the trend of play, gets it nicely away to his prop forward, which is Keith Rain, but he can't move. They're still struggling a little bit, the Great Britain side. They're a bit slower themselves, like the Maoris, as it's back to the second row, Wayne Proctor. He's held up by solid Maori tackling them as Tuatai gets in, as well as Joe Rapati. 5 metres short of a halfway line on the grandstand side. Gregory calling a tune, goes for a touch finder, and out on the full, says the line umpire, back to where he attempted it, and that would be 5 metres inside Great Britain's half. That wind is whistling in our ears at the moment. We're on the grandstand at the Davies Park here, and it's quite strong. It's fine, and the ground is remarkably good, considering the amount of rain that's been had in the Auckland province. Referee, Mr. Black, was straightening up the scrum, and has been picked at all. He never retired. He should have been penalised, Bill. Then that was Gerald Catini, the Maori halfback, never retired to behind the feet of the second row, got away with it. Oh, he threw it in terribly then, and it's knock on and knock backwards, says the referee. So the Great Britain loose forward. Flanagan picks up the ball when both halves really were almost in a non-retiring position, and Flanagan to play the ball back to his prop forward, Lee Crooks. Crooks now running a little bit, only ambling, really gets it away to O'Neill. O'Neill is held low and high, and will play it, just still short of a halfway line. The Maoris lead 2-0. No try scored in this game. We're well past the first quarter now. We're running toward about 26 minutes, and there's a run by the prop forward Lee Crooks. He gets up to about 5 metres inside the Maori half. Beardmore getting away now. On it goes to Flanagan. Turning on to John Joyner of the stand-up. Now Hanley, the coloured centre three-quarter, flies away, and here runs off. Here comes the first try, and Des Foy takes the pass from Hanley to drop down under the post, and Hanley very, very strong then, and looking particularly good. Des Foy went on the inside of him, and there wasn't any doubt. I didn't think, Bill, the try was simple, and Hanley made it with speed.
Yes, well, I've had the feeling that Ellery Hanley has played very well for Great Britain on the wing over in Australia and here, but somebody suggested to me that he would be a better centre, and here he is playing at centre, and that was a lovely break he made. Mind you, the man inside him gave him the ball nicely and helped to get him into the gap, and it was only a matter of running for full-back, and Nick Wright had no chance of stopping Des Foy as he flew across to score between the posts. A nice try, and show that when they're moving the ball and running at pace, they can be very dangerous.
Well, Hanley's taken over the role of goal kicker, which I don't know with him much about his kicking, Bill, but it's right out in front. The wind is so strong that the ball has blown over. Do you know much about his kicking ability?
Not really, but the majority of these fellows, especially in the back line, are capable of kicking goals and probably take them through their club side. Ellery being from Bradford Northern. Hello, he's calling time out.
He's having all sorts of bother there. The wind is so strong and it keeps getting blown over, and John Joyner going up now to either give Hanley the opportunity of letting the ball being held while he kicks it. It's right out in front. And
as you would know, Des, he plays out of Bradford Northern, and you've probably played on that ground. They reckon that's the hardest ground in Great Britain to kick on because of the fluky winds in that deep basin of the ground they've got there.
Yes. He really hurries things, and he's quite colourful there. It's certainly a different style kicker. He doesn't waste any time, and he really hurried his actions there. And he's an instep kicker, by the way, and it went over. It was no problem. Really could have thrown it over, I suppose. But just his action amused me because he was sort of in a hurry and very sorry that he was delaying all the time for the spectators who were waiting for him to finally kick the ball. So they lead by 6-2, Great Britain, with a time gone about 27 minutes in this game. A deep kick this time, and it's been taken by the other reserve who's on. That's Chris Burton, so they're using both the replacements, and Bill might tell me who has disappeared. As it's quickly up now to the prop forward, Rain. Rain running hard and wide and determined, but taken low after a good run. The tackle was Chappie Pine. They're not just short of the halfway line, with Andy Gregory deciding to kick deep this time, and Nick Wright is just trotting along very, very slowly. He says, look, the wind is so strong, there's no sense in me running another 30 metres. I'll just look at the ball and go over the dead ball line. It'll be a tap on the 22 to the Maoris. Right, Joe, it's blowing out there, Bill.
Yes, it's very strong. I would say number 10, Lee Crooks, has gone off.
After that little bust-up with Pep Boys, I suppose.
Might have happened there.
Jumps been taken. Russell Tuatau running into this time Burton, who goes for sort of a loose arm across his head, but Tuatau's head wasn't there, so they play the ball. It's back to Parweza. Parweza gets outside Terry Flanagan, runs straight then into the winger, centre three-quarter Des Foy, the only try scorer on the game, and Foy takes Parweza to the ground. As they played it to Murray this time, they used their forwards. In goes Flanagan high, and the Great Britain forwards a little bit more vigorous now in their action, and the referee is there to look to see what's going on. They're just about 6 metres short of the halfway line. Mary's in their own half. Quickly it's out to Cartini to Ron O'Regan, who goes for a quick burst then to try and get through the defence, but he's stopped by Kevin Beardmore, the hooker. He'll play the ball, and it's back to Nick Wright, who left foot kicks for touch. Drummond can't hold it. The ball is just about getting over the sideline. He retrieves the situation, has a look to see who's there, and tries to beat his wing three-quarter, which he has beaten quite easily. That's Lou Cooper, still going down the sideline, and he beats Chappie Pine. He's still heading down that sideline, and in the end they pick him up, and it would be Cartini that it would be Cedric Leonard that saved the day then, and Drummond was allowed to run, and he beat two players with ease. And finally he's got the ball again now, and Drummond getting up to play it to Ellery Hanley. The two coloured players in close together as it's out to Beardmore. Beardmore sends it on this time to Wayne Proctor, who's knocked it on, says the referee, and we'll have a scrum. And not good tackling on that far side, Bill.
Yes, well, possibly Des Drummond went a little bit too far again, don't you think, that if he had made use of the man inside of him, possibly another Great Britain try, but he kept on going. It was a good run because in all he made about 50 metres, but possibly a try thrown away.
And Ellery Hanley is playing at inside centre today as the Maoris win the scrum, and Cartini has a bit of a dab then round the base of the scrum to run a few metres, but he stopped just inside the 22. Ron O'Regan gets in now to clear it away from the play of the ball and finds that Nick Wright is with him, and Wright doesn't run very far. Gives it back this time to O'Regan, who turns it on nicely to Lovett, but he came back into the cover then and was picked up by the second round Mike O'Neill. They're just outside the 22. O'Regan is calling the tune for the Maoris to Chappie Pine and loads to him, but the Great Britain forwards are quick to Pine, and he goes down on a tackle about 5 metres outside the Maori quarter line. They're down New Zealand Maoris now by 6-2 as O'Regan does a back switch pass to Parweza, but Parweza really was set up, and he ran in then to two Great Britain forwards. O'Neill and Flanagan both in there. That's the second row and loose forward. They take the big man to the ground as Tracy McGregor gets it out to Cartini. On it goes to Joe Rapati, wide on that far side now to Cooper, who can go down the sideline. Gets away from Ellery Hanley. There's Drummond, goes for the shoulder charge, and back goes Luke Cooper. But still, a bit of excitement on that far side. They played it now with Rapati in a dummy half. Gets away to Chappie Pine. O'Regan kicks deep. I don't know whether he should have kicked so deep, actually, because Bassett takes it well for the Great Britain side. Has it run. He's chased by the hooker, Tracy McGregor, and also Dick Uliavi, who gets into the ground. So they're back in their own quarter, Great Britain, and he gets up to play the ball now to his hookers that I think at the moment are partially obliterated. Second row, Wayne Proctor has it now, just outside the Great Britain 22. They lead by 6-2, and in goes Beardmore now to clear it away. Now he decides to run from the dummy half, gains about 10 metres up to before he's held. They play the ball now, and Gregory calls it this time, kicks straight away, and the ball goes straight through one Maori player then, and that would be Cartini, but he spun in a tackle. Nice tackle by Joyner, who moved quicker and playing a lot better than he did at Whangarei. He's playing stand-up today at Whangarei's at centre, and he looks sharper in close. As Nick Wright has it now after the Maoris have played the ball, tries to get to his feet, but he's stopped by Proctor, and they play it. And it's Joe Rapati this time, running, having a look at support. No one's there. Rapati tries to use his strength in and get through, but he's just stopped by Mike O'Neill, and no more. They're on the 10-metre mark in Great Britain territory. Regan running to Turnbull, getting through, looks for support. It doesn't go with the Maori captain. He ran across nicely. Quickly they play the ball now to it, getting it away to Lovett. Lovett sends it on to Robbie Muller, but in goes this time Burton to bowl over Muller, and Muller stopped on the Great Britain 22. They play the ball New Zealand Maoris. It's back to Lovett. Lovett this time for the little kick ahead. Too deep. It'll be covered well by Mumby, the fullback. Lovett takes him to the ground, gets the ball away to Joyner. Joyner gets up toward the 22, but before they hold him in a tackle, and he goes to the ground. They'll play the ball now, and it's back to Beardmore. Beardmore turning it on. No, I should say Beardmore has it now. As the prop forward then was Rain that turned it on to Beardmore, and he stopped just outside Great Britain 22. They play it. It's come back to Gregory. Gregory this time a little kick ahead. All very quick as Gregory. The ball bounces kindly for him. No, it doesn't. It's the Dick Uliabi who beats everyone to the ground. A knock-on, says the referee, which to me was backward. However, it might have been a knock forward by Gregory then, who deflected it with his arms, and the Maoris retained possession. No advantage. So it's a scrum just inside, fractionally, the Maori half centre field. What's the scrums, Bill?
I make them 4 to Great Britain and 1 to the New Zealand Maoris. That's 5-1 now. They've hooked that one.
So they're getting plenty of ball. Great Britain side. Mumby this time has a go to try and beat the defence, but his feet are not quite quick enough to do a side step, and he quickly gets held by the halfback, which is Cartini. They played the ball. Flanagan now getting it on to the replacement player, Chris Burton, who stopped on the Maori 10-metre mark in centre field. Just one try, converted 6 to the penalty of the Maoris 2, and we're getting toward about 8 or 9 minutes before half-time. As it's Mike O'Neill getting taken high and low, he flicks the ball back, and it's quickly picked up by Hanley. Hanley has a look, decides he'll beat a couple of players in, fends off Ronald Regan, who gets after him this time and bowls him high with a tackle in, and also does Cedric Lovett. They play the ball Great Britain in Maori territory, about 40 metres away from the try line. They spin it wide out to Andy Gregory, who's mixed up. A little halfback finds there's Foy with him, and Foy props a little bit, but veers back in field, caught by Chappie Pine. Will play just outside the Maori 22, the fullback Mumby. Away goes John Joyner, who goes straight ahead this time. Links the pass, or gets the pass away to Beardmore. They work well, the Great Britain forwards. The last play of the ball's on him. The hooker will play it to his stand-off, John Joyner. Joyner getting the way to Gregory. There's a little droppy by Joyner, by Gregory. It's there all the way, and a little bit of colour coming into the game there. I thought the Maoris, I should say Great Britain, would have spun it. Instead, the half Gregory decides to go for the drop kick, and so it's a lead of 8-2.
Yes, the little scrum half, as we said before, Andy Gregory seems to get involved in all sorts of things. He made a nice little break, chipped it over. Unfortunately, couldn't gain possession just previous to that. Seems to have got a little bit of a tip over the eye. Talking to the referee just now, but then from that particular play out in front of the post, he thought, well, we'll have a drop kick to make the score 7-2. He's a bundle of energy.
Nick Wright has kicked off. The ball will be taken by Burton. Burton has a bit of a run, and there goes a crossfield Burton. They finally take him to the ground. The tackler is Muller, just outside Great Britain's 22. They now lead by 7-2. That's the lead of Great Britain. A converted try and a droppy, and there's a great run by Mike O'Neill. Goes through the Maori pack, finds this time his second row, which is Proctor. He's held in the tackle. He's got it away to Hanley. Hanley spins it on this time to O'Neill again. They're on the Maori 22, and O'Neill has lost contact with everyone. And he goes left and right, finds to get the pass away under Rain. Rain tries to fire one out to Des Dominic. He goes back to the Maori 22 before he's stopped by Lovett, and they play the ball. But England, Great Britain, very colourful at the moment, spinning it all around the place. They're much freer in their style of attractive attacking play now. As Gregory has knocked it on, he's the third man to get the ball. It was high, he fended it down. Disappointed with his action there, but Great Britain a little bit looser now, Bill.
And that was quite a good break there by the Great Britain forwards, and Mike O'Neill burst him to clear. I looked back to see where the support was from the backs, and they're at least 20 metres away. It should have been a try, shouldn't it, with support of the ball carrier.
Yes, they are playing quite individual. They're sort of one-up style, and they haven't changed much over the last 5 or 6 years. There's a scrum to the Maoris. Up it goes now to Ronald Regan. Nick Wright is in the back line. Sends it on to his centre three-quarter, which is Cedric Lovett. He tries to get clear of his opposite number then, but he's well held. In fact, Terry Flanagan, the loose forward, broke across and took him to the ground. As Wright gets into dummy, Hart gives it on to Regan. Regan is held by Hanley, and the Maoris are just short of the halfway line. Still in their own territory with McGregor on that far side, waiting to take it out. Instead, it's...
That's a penalty, yes.
Regan goes and plays it ahead, and he said he was being held by Hanley, but he conceded the penalty. He had his dummy half there, and Regan goes and taps it ahead in most unusual style and concedes the penalty.
Yes, that was foolish play, really, because the ball's got to clear the play-the-ball area. That's both Great Britain and the Maoris, and Regan must have believed that Hanley was out of the play and tapped it forward and picked it up, but the referee believed there was a penalty and awarded it.
They're now 12 metres inside the Maori half now, and there's the prop forward Rain taking it off the tap kicker, which is Beardmore, goes to the ground. Beardmore going in now to take it from dummy half, gets the way on nicely at the Flanagan. Gregory delays it to find O'Neill with him, but it's a knock-on. And really the moves are fairly well telegraphed here for the Maoris, who are not moving up now. They're quite content to wait and let the Great Britain forwards come to them, which is not a good sign as we get toward about 3 or 4 minutes. Well, is it before half-time?
Yes.
We started just prior to 2:30. They were very, very early in starting, which surprised me. But a good crowd here of about at least 2,500. So I'd say the gate bill would be, what, about 10,000, 11,000?
It would be. It would compare with Hull of last year to be in and around that figure.
So it's Ronoriga now getting it away from the dummy half position. Finds his wing on that far side, Cooper, unloads to him. Cooper has a bit of a run. He's lost control of the ball. In goes Proctor to pick it up for Great Britain. And the referee, Mr. Blackwood, says no, a knock-on both occasions. No advantage. We'll have a scrum about 6 metres inside the Maori half. And no, it's a penalty.
Yes, I think the Maori tackler went in when the player was on the ground and the line-up player just stepped forward. So I think you'll find a penalty to
yes, it is. It's a penalty given to Great Britain. And on comes the Masua. I think it's Proctor on the ground. He's all right. Gets to his feet. It's a fairly hard game for the Great Britain side. There's been a number being penalised.
Yes, that's so.
In the way of getting knocks, and Hanley just kicked the ball out. He could have gone for the tap, really, only gained about 2 metres, and so it'll be the hooker Beardmore. Gets away to Gregory. Gregory turns it nicely onto top forward Keith Rain. Rain just runs slowly into the Maori forward tacklers, taken to the ground, just outside the 22. He'll play the ball now to Beardmore. Beardmore gets away to Gregory. Gregory has a look, has a kneel on his left, unloads that player, gets the ball taken out of his arms by Chappie Pine, the Maori loose forward, so the Maoris get possession, and Pine plays it quickly back this time. It comes out to Cartini, on to Pereza. Pereza carrying the ball one-handed, has a run, runs a little bit wide and gains about 15 metres upfield before he's held. Quickly it's back to McGregor. McGregor onto O'Regan. O'Regan sends it on to number 2 I should say to Robbie Muller. Muller almost getting clear then and just spun in the tackle by Joyner. A back had to come in to take that forward. Then as Murray catches to the halfway line for the Maoris and a bit more fire in the dying stages of the first half. Only about a couple of minutes to go before half-time. Murray to get up to play the ball to McGregor. Is Hooker, who's gone into the role of dummy half. It gets out to O'Regan. Cuts out a man. Nick Wright can't hold it. It goes out then to Katini, and he'll be offside. Katini, the ball bounced off Nick Wright then. He's not having a good game. It went back. In fact, it was deflected slightly, and the man coming behind to take the pass was Katini, and he was in advance of Wright. So ruled offside by the referee, and Hanley will kick for the far touch. About 10 metres inside the Maori half, and there's his kick. Up goes the flag, and certainly the right side to kick with that breeze behind you. He's only about 12 metres short of the line. The tap to be taken. One try in this game, and they lead by 7-2 with the half-time coming up. And it's Gregory getting away nicely up to Rain, and Rain is caught low then by Robbie Muller. The prop forward has played the ball back to his hooker, and that's Beardmore. It gets out to Gregory. On it goes to O'Neill. O'Neill standing up in the tackle. Is allowed to get it away to Chris Burden. Burden is held low then by a Maori player. They're still inside the 22, and Maoris will be lucky to play up time here with the score still at 7-2. It's Gregory having a little dab from the dummy half, first pass position, and almost getting clever. Chappie Pine lowers him. Quickly it's Beardmore now, clearing it straight away, and it's John Joyner spinning around in a tackle. Unloads it to Burton. I should say not to Burton. He unloads it straight away to Flanagan, and Flanagan through, and very, very quick and easy. I thought the try was on, but it ran wide a little bit and then flicked it back in, and there was Flanagan waiting to take it. And so he has scored their second try under the goalpost, and it looks like they'll lead by 12-2 with the break coming up.
Yes, that was a good piece of work by the Great Britain, a bit of cohesion that we've been looking towards. Once again, Andy Gregory was initially in it. John Joyner was the man who did the old trick of pretending to pass, spun right round. The Maoris hesitated, and that was the fatal thing. A couple of yards forward, and the pass was made to Terry Flanagan, who was backing up. Just previous to that try, Des, I thought that the Great Britain backs were hanging back too much, but obviously a planned move. They let their forwards do the lead-up work, and once they got into a strong attacking position, well, then the backs came to life, and that gives, right on half-time, that gives Great Britain a very handy lead of 11-2, and Ellery Hanley almost certainly will convert.
Yes, there it is now, and so it goes to 13-2. That's the lead now. They're led by 7. 2 tries. There's been a drop involved in by Andy Gregory. And just giving you the try scores before we hand you over to Bill O'Callaghan for his half-time comments. Nicky Wright, a penalty after 3.5 minutes. Ron O'Regan was the man that got flattened when he went for the bomb kick, and the referee, Mr. Blacker, waited for the ball to bounce, and when it landed to the ground, which was about slightly to the half-time comments, Bill O'Callaghan.
Yes, well, we've seen an entertaining game, and as Des mentioned, on this firmer ground, the Great Britain players are showing more to advantage. They've got any amount of speed throughout their side, and they're endeavouring to make most use of it. The scrums favour Great Britain 5-3, and the penalties also to Great Britain 6-4. They've taken full advantage of this possession advantage, and have managed to get their couple of tries. Taken all round, it looks like John Joyner is directing play quite well, and the two wingers, Des Drummond and when he came on, Ellery Hanley, they are proving very elusive, making play and joining in wherever possible and making it difficult for the Maoris. In the forwards, we've got once again Kevin Beardmore, who played well up in Whangarei, showing up very well. Rather unfortunate, Lee Crooks went off. He and Pat Proeza clashed over a minor difference of opinion early in the match, and as a result, I think Lee Crooks went off and was replaced by Chris Burton, who had played in the test on the previous yesterday. Andy Gregory is proving elusive at scrum half and making play whenever possible. He's a bundle of energy and really likes to get fellas going, and any player who sticks pretty close to him can make play. Taken all around, it's an improved performance by Great Britain, and what was to be a very difficult match against the Maoris, they now have a commanding position. For the Maoris, Ron O'Regan is directing play very well and managing at every opportunity to get Joe Rapati, for example, going. I noticed in the first run that Joe had, Des Boy was unable to handle him in the tackle, and Joe made ground. But since then, the Maoris have been fairly well contained by this Great Britain back line. All the forwards are working particularly well. Pat Proeza giving it a go there as prop. Russell Tudor always looking for work, as is Robbie Muller and Chappie Pine. So all in all, the Maoris are doing quite well, but even though down 13-2, I'm afraid they'll have to lift their play to hold this Great Britain side, who are desperate for a win after yesterday's test loss. There's been a lot made of the fact that they're playing this match on the day after the test, but last year at the International Board meeting, when Ron McGregor, myself and David Oxley, the English secretary, we sat down and made this itinerary out, we suggested the Maoris up in Whangarei as the first match because it is consistently a tough one, and the Northern Districts match here on the Sunday after the test, but we said we were quite open about it. David Oxley came back to us and said no, he'd rather have ND up in Whangarei and the Maori match here on the Sunday because it always attracts a good crowd for a country venue and a good gate. Well, we've got the good crowd and the good gate, but Frank Meyer and his men aren't happy about it. They took the itinerary back to England.